I'm Jamie J. Carr,
And I'm Richie F.
and this is the One Leg
One Eye
Podcast. Here. Right, welcome to the One Leg, One Eye Podcast. I swear to God that we started perfectly. It was all this is the perfect start. We weren't talking for 10 minutes there, and we definitely didn't just realise that I forgot to hit record on the camera. That didn't happen, did it, Dara O Cinneide? Oh, now I'm not going to get it right now.
Cinneide.
So who are we joined by, Richie?
We're joined by Dara Cinneide.
Dara O Cinneide.
O Cinneide. Definitely not Derek.
Definitely not Derek. Who would ever mix up Dara and Derek anyway?
Yeah.
It's usually Darren.
Darren.
Everyone calls me Darren.
I'd say that's annoying, is it?
No, yes and no. Like you gotta get over it. But Derek is a new one. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Derek.
Why? What are you talking about?
It's just a pet peeve that Dara has, and he hates being called Derek by people. You know?
Well, nobody called him Derek. Everyone's seen the podcast from the start here. Nobody's called him Derek.
We didn't have to restart it at all. But
Richie, if you can just grab the mic like directly in front of you, like see the way like
directly,
yeah,
like
it has
this.
to be, yeah.
Okay, I
Just
need to move
hold
this
it.
table a little bit. How is that now?
3 weeks into it, and he still doesn't
3
know how to
weeks
talk
in.
into the microphone.
So so how I met Dara, I had uploaded the clip of me telling the story about my eye. Well, Jamie had actually edited that beautiful clip.
It was very good, wasn't it?
It was very, very, very good, and
Gorgeous.
it seemed to have caught the attention of our very special guest this week, Dara.
I'm special.
And he had commented that something that I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Bus Driver," which was at the very end of it. And like I seen his name straight away, and it was Dara. Was it that blind guy with a camera?
Yeah, that blind guy with a camera.
And so that's a filthy plug for your socials now. So anyone who's tuning in,
Link in bio.
link in bio, which we will do that as well at the very end. We'll announce everything. But if you look down the bottom of this right now, you will see Dara's socials. So that blind guy with a camera. And can you now tell us a little bit about yourself, Dara?
And Dara, I'm just gonna move
hello.
the mic a little bit because it's pointing. There we go. Perfect.
Hi,
There you are.
I'm here.
I'm such
Yeah,
a stickler, am I?
Jamie's gonna start giving Dara loads now. It's been like a half hour you've been here, and you still don't know how to talk into the microphone.
It's your profession.
I'm sorry, Dara. Forgive me.
So yeah, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and let people know who you are and what you do, and a little bit of your story.
So my name is Dara O Cinneide. I'm from Tralee in Kerry. I'm blind. That's why I'm here. It's always really awkward talking about yourself.
Yeah, it is,
isn't
isn't it? It
Yeah.
really is.
So I went blind when I was 16. I've always been vision impaired. It's a genetic disorder called retinoschisis. So I was always going to go blind, and I always knew that. But it was meant to be in kind of mid to late 20s. But I lost it when I was 16 instead. So that was great crack. And like being 16... The sarcasm, baby. 16 isn't great for anyone. Like, it's a tough time.
Yeah.
I think you were saying that you had your incident.
I did.
You were around 16.
So when I was around 14 or 15,
Yeah.
it happened to me, and it's a tough time in your life because you're just about coming of age, you know.
Yeah. It's like everything is changing in your life, and then it's just this kind of unexpected, unforeseen circumstance just kind of slaps you in the face, and there is no preparation for it. You can read up on all what's going to happen and all this crack, but it's one of those things you have to live, and that's the only way you can kind of experience it and try to explain to people. It is a journey, but it's one you can't really explain because everyone's journey is different. Everyone's struggle is different, and I'm rambling now.
No, and how much How much vision did you have growing up until you went fully blind?
So I would have been able to, be able to walk around independently, watch television, play PlayStation, Xbox, all that.
Oh God!
But then, say in school, I would have had, I had the glasses, and they were so thick, like they were proper, like we
Jam jars, were they?
super specs, we used to call them,
yeah.
and then like to read the whiteboard, it would be I had like a monocular, so it just kind of hold up to my eyes. So it was like a little somewhere between a pair of binoculars and a telescope, and then just some technology to use, screen readers, screen magnifiers on the laptop and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. Like even when I was growing up, like I said, I was always vision impaired, and even in school, people were wondering, you know, like what's wrong with you? And I also would be like, oh, I'm half blind, and that's how that's the only way I can describe it. It's like I wasn't all the way there, so I was saying I was half blind,
in a limbo of blindness.
kind of, pretty much, yeah.
Flirting with blindness.
Flirting with blindness.
Well, I'm
blind date.
I'm semi there myself, you know. It's just the left side of me doesn't see feck all, you know. The right side is grand, but yeah, no, I totally get that. Like it, with explaining, but my left eye now, when I don't wear the patch, it gets very, very lazy because my lens doesn't expand and narrow. So my point of contact for my vision, my eye droops, like the pupil droops, and that tends to make my eye go lazy because it's trying to find the pinnacle of where the focus should be, and that drives it totally off. And that's when I start snapping, like, take that bleeding photo down off Facebook, will you? Look at the state of me eyeball in it. So yeah, that's it's one of those things where when you're explaining to people what the vision is like, it's so hard for you to explain it.
Yeah.
That it kind of, because you're so used to it, you don't know how to explain it to people because it's just a normal thing to you.
Yeah.
So
you said there, George, you'd see the photo and you'd be like, take it down. Like, would you be self-conscious about it, or is it one of those things that you see something that other people probably just don't even see in the photo? Cause
very good question. And this is me being
the podcast is reversed.
Yes, this is a reversal. So I'm very self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
But I have one of those attitudes where I'm just like, I don't give a fuck what people think, but I give a fuck what I think, you know. Like, it's one of those things that if I don't like it, I want to take it down. I don't care about how other people perceive that.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
But it's yeah, I'm very self-conscious of it, and it makes me feel uneasy seeing myself like that. But if I'm looking at somebody else and they have a problem with their eye, I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't make me feel uneasy. Mm-hmm. It's just myself.
It's a level of exception. Like,
Dara, just when you're talking, just into the mic. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Thank you.
You're always
Boss.
You're always at me.
If
You're always
if you twist it up towards you as well.
Jamie, will you piss off?
I'm looking at the levels. I need to. It has to pick you up. Sorry.
He keeps kicking me.
Sorry,
as well.
Dara.
Just Jamie with both of his beautifully walking eyes slating the two guys.
No, don't turn it into that. Come on.
It's constantly blinking at us, just like, look what I've got.
Yeah, showing his beautiful
beautiful eyes.
I haven't got a leg to stand on. Leave me alone, all right? Jesus Christ. So what was that like? This is probably a question if you're, I know you've been on a couple of podcasts before, and you know you'll probably be on a few in the future, and maybe people always ask you this in real life. I'm not sure, but it's something that I was, when I knew you were coming on, and I knew, you know, you don't have sight, I wanted to ask you this. Would you have preferring to be born without blind, like completely blind, or are you you know, would it, oh my God, I can't ask a question.
I know you're going.
Yeah,
I do know you're going.
Would it have been easier for you to be born fully blind, or would you have preferred to have the sight that you did have for the years that you did have the sight?
So friends and I have actually had this conversation before, but you actually are the first person on a podcast or an interview to actually ask that. So it's nice in a way because it's different.
Yeah, I just celebrated. I put my hands in the air in celebration there because. Yeah.
We need audio description for this podcast. It's a good question because there's so many pros and cons on both sides because it's nice to oh God, such a hard question to answer. I like being able to have known what things look like because even now when people are describing a room or colours and things like that, I can picture them in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's a balls because I miss it.
Yeah.
So if it's a real bittersweet. Yeah. Oh, got emotional. Like it is very bitterly sweet. Because. Oh.
No, it's okay. If
Someone get me a tissue.
I'll get you some tissue. I'll get you
Oh
some
no,
tissue.
I'm great.
Sure.
No.
If you get emotional, you get emotional. That's okay, you know. And it is a very emotional thing. I'm sure. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I but see, it's also I can't answer that question properly because I don't know what it's like to not see. And think of it this way: even if everyone's like, "Oh, is it?" Like when I close my eyes, everyone's like, "Oh, you just see black." But if you said that to a person who's born blind, they've no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because color isn't even a concept to them. Like it's to them, the others. It's just like it's a hard thing to explain because they're two completely different worlds. Like it's, yeah.
Like as well, I've have you seen the show before, Jamie? And as well with yourself, because it was out when we were younger. You could have had the chance to watch it, Superhumans, and there's a blind guy on it who was born blind, and scientists reckon if you're born blind, you don't know the concept of 3D, so you just know the concept of what you feel.
Wow. So
when they asked him, can you draw this building? And he felt around the building, they thought it was just going to be like he was able to draw, but he drew this building and he was able to determine that the building was like an octagon shape, and he drew the slants in the roof, and it was a superhuman power because other people that they had tested weren't able to do this. And the kind of taboo behind it is the like people who are born with these disabilities, they don't quite understand the concepts of how we would see things, but some people do. Like the brain works in like serious mysterious ways. And like I think everyone would approach that question differently, depending like obviously on their circumstances. And like with myself, I stabbed myself in the eye. It wasn't a condition or anything. That was my own stupid fault. But it terrifies me that if I lost my vision, like to me, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it terrifies me to think about losing that vision in my right eye as well. So doctors had told me if you're doing anything at all, whether it's sports, gardening, maybe playing with the kids, put some protective glasses on, because an accident can happen and you could be fully blind. And that like it does terrify me to think about like fully losing it. So I can only imagine not being able to control that fully, and how that felt as a 16-year-old growing up. You're a brave lad, and not many people should take you as an inspiration, because not a lot of people would have the confidence to go out after losing the vision and do what you're doing now. And
what are you doing, Dara?
Currently I work as a continuity announcer on Virgin Media Television. So I'm the guy that tells you what's coming up next, introduces programs and stuff like that. So I'm on Virgin Media 2. So I usually kind of start announcing programs from 7 or 6 on through the evening.
And do you do, is that all the time? Or is there like different other people that do it at that time, or do you have that slot every day? And that's a cool job.
Yeah.
So you're the chap who goes, and today on Coronation Street, Sally's riding Peter, and she's not even married to Peter. They make the little cheeky joke. Grab your cup of tea and come back in because it's gonna get steamy in here tonight.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a few of his clips with him doing that actual thing.
All right, give us a. You have to do it. Give us a. Right, so here's the play-by-play. You can make your own thing about it though, right?
Jesus, no.
Coronation Street is on, right? Peter in Coronation Street is having an affair with Susan, and it's starting right now. Give us a go.
Oh, Jesus, I don't know.
You can do it. Take your time.
Corrie, Cobbles, Corrie, no, Corrie's first. No, that's Fair City.
Yeah, it's on the cobbles, isn't it? It's on.
Yeah,
it's the cobbles for Coronation Street.
You can tell I watch soaps. Oh, that I can't actually.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, do you want to give us your own one? It doesn't have to be Coronation Street, or give us a little snippet.
Oh, what's new? Okay. We've only got 2 last dates on this week's episode of Generation Dating, but if you happen to miss any of the episodes, you can head on over to Virgin Media Player, where you can catch the whole thing now streaming for free anytime you want. Now though, I wonder will there be any dates after this show? It's time for Bradley and the Chase.
That is class.
I love it. I've heard you so many times. on the telly, and I never knew. I never knew it was you. Obviously, you don't think about it.
It is such a weird thing because one of my friends was saying that she was up home recently, and she was like, "Oh, I called in home, and like we heard you." And I was like, "What do you mean you heard me?" I was like, "Sure, I was by myself, and my mom watching television." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dar, you're everywhere. It's not just your bedroom. Like, it is a national television station." I was like, oh shit. I was like, what did I say? It's all I could ever think of.
I hope your voicemail is hello and welcome to my voicemail. In that fancy kind of style. Do you have a funny voicemail? Do you?
No, mine is just actually did it years ago. It's just ask Gaeilge, and then it's in English. So
okay.
Just me saying I'm not here. It's very generic.
Don't be showing off now. I'd love to be able to speak Irish.
Just slip that in there.
just a filthy plug. Yeah, you also speak Irish. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think I've been doing a continuity now just under a year. So yeah, I started training last February, and I got the news that I was being taken on at the end of March last year, which is strange because it was during COVID and everyone was kind of strange times. And it was a really unexpected job because it was just I got a message on LinkedIn saying that people heard stuff that I'd put up on LinkedIn and would I be interested in applying. So I said yes, and that was on a Thursday evening, and this is where the story gets a bit strange. So that was Thursday evening. I got the email saying, "Oh, this is the stuff we want you to do. Highlight this show, and this show. We need scripts back and audio by tomorrow morning."
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really quick turnover. So my boss now, she sent me out the schedule, and she'd highlighted the things that I had to, like, physically highlighted the things I had to do, and I was like, oh shit, they don't know. So I just kind of I was like to my friend, was like, help. So so she just pointed out what things I had to do, and I sent them in, and they loved them, the following Tuesday, I got the notification saying like I've progressed to the next step, and this went on and on, and we're about 2 months in before my boss was like, "Dara, are you blind?" 2 months, lads. I was with them for 2 months, and I was like, I was there, and I was like, I can't tell them now. I was like, how do I slip this in? This general conversation. It's like, oh, it's a great show, Coronation Street last night. Oh, by the way, I'm blind. Like, it just got so bad. And then
oh no, the anxiety of it going on so long.
The anxiety kicked in, and then it was the fear. And now, looking back, I know that I shouldn't have been afraid, but back then I didn't know, because it was like, if I mention it, is it going to cause issues? Will it be a strain? Because there, as I said, there was a big issue with, like, there was been things being highlighted, but I kind of worked around them and I just kept going. And at one stage, my boss was like, she said to me afterwards, she was thinking, like, it does take him ages to submit things, and I was like, I was like, oh yeah, soz. But no, we got over that, and like that, she's asked me straight out, and I told her yes, I was, and it was the most genuine response. She was so shocked, but in a amazed way. It wasn't like pity, like, oh, you're so great for working.
Yeah.
It was that, Dara, I've been throwing stuff at you. How have you gotten through it? Like, she was impressed, and a year later, I'm still there, and it's amazing. It's just an amazing job. So technically, like, I'm an independent voiceover artist, so I work for Virgin Media Television, but but I can also work for other people as well. So it's nice. It's actually a really good job. And I work from home.
Jesus,
so
we know who we're getting to do the voiceover for our new intro anyway.
Yeah.
No, but congratulations. That's awesome, isn't it, Richie? Like,
yeah, it is. As well, on the merit that they didn't quite know enough about you to know that you are blind, but they took you on your experience and what you had done, what you had put up on LinkedIn, as you said.
Yeah.
So be proud of that. Like not the fact that they didn't know you were blind, but that didn't matter. The skill was there. You put the effort in, and you got the job.
And you know, like, I do know a lot of people, and we've had this conversation, a few of us on Twitter, on other social media sites. It's the whole, do you mention straight away? Do you mention later?
Yeah.
When do you kind of point it out? Because let's be honest, like, it's a horrible thing to admit, but it does change interviews.
It does.
It does, and it's hard to explain to someone without a disability that you're like, oh no, you're just imagining it. And you're like, oh, okay, naivety. And like, it's hard to explain to someone who's never had to experience it. It's like,
no, it's totally true, and I've had the same with interviews where, you know, it's when I have a pair of trousers on or a pair of slacks, and you know, they don't see me walking in, or they see the limp when I walk in, because I'm missing the leg, obviously. It's always like, do I say it or do I not? And like, parts of me has this like internal battle of like, when I did go for interviews, of like, I don't fucking need to say it. Why should I? I can do. I know I can do everything the same as everybody else. Well, I like to think I can. Maybe, you know, in reality, there's probably a few things that I can't. But in my head, I can do everything that anybody else can do. But then I feel like if I don't tell them that, I'm not being 100%, you know, real with them. But then I'm like, if I do tell them, sometimes I do tell them, they're like, okay, and they're like, as if, why am I telling them that? It is an awkward one, and you know, I totally agree with Richie there, because you know, I feel like sometimes, and look, I'm all for it, giving people with disability, we need more jobs for people with disabilities, 100%, and I'm sure you're aware of that, Dara. But I do feel like sometimes companies, you know, they take on that token disabled guy, and you know, we'll take it, and I'm encouraging that, keep doing it. But it's nice, from what Richie said there, that they didn't know, and they still took you on. So you
weren't took on as a diversity.
Yes,
you were took on as someone with the skill and the work ethic that they wanted,
and a sexy voice. He's the voice of Virgin Media over there. Do you know what I mean?
Stop. What was I say? Oh, you were saying we need more jobs for people with disabilities.
Yes.
This is only a blind from the blind point of view, but there's fewer than 1 in 4 people with a vision impairment employed.
Wow.
Fewer than 1, and in the workforce, so not even employed, like in the workforce in general.
Jesus.
Fewer than 1, and that's excluding every other disability, like your own.
Yeah. What are you slagging me for?
I don't know. I'm getting defensive. I was like, I'm getting in there before you can.
Yeah. No, you look, and it happens all over the place. I think I was telling Richie off the podcast about.
He's always telling me off.
I was like, what do he do? What do he do now? He's always like you. Yes.
I was telling Richie of a story that we haven't said on the podcast yet. I think I was about 16 or 17. And it was coming. Obviously, you're coming to the age where you can apply for a job, and I needed a bit of extra cash, of course. Making nothing, and I went and I got a CV made, and I put so much effort into it. And I think this was my first ever experience with the world kind of does look at me differently. So I got this CV made up in the library at the time, because we didn't have a printer and stuff, and I think it was my sister helped me get the CV, and I was got all excited that I had this CV made. Now there was feck all on it really, other than my address, and like me skills or all that shy. And the first place I walked into was a pub in the north side of Dublin. I won't name and shame the pub, but I probably should, to be honest. And I walked in and I was all excited because someone had said, "Oh, they're looking for CVs there. They're looking to hire a lounge boy in this pub." And I walked in.
Sorry.
No, you're all right.
Such a strange phrase, a lounge boy.
A lounge. Yeah, like to
Just
collect the
lounging
glasses
around.
and stuff, and clean up and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think my friend was working in this pub at the time as well. His name was Danny. What's up, Danny, if you're listening? And I walked in and I said, so the owner happened to be there at the time. Our owner or manager, I think he was the owner, and he was a grey-haired man, scowly looking face. He already looked kind of angry, but I didn't care. I was like, I have CVs here, and I had like a big stack of CVs, like 100 of them. I was like, do you mind if I drop one in? And he goes, what? And I went, the CV, like, because he could hear me, so I was surprised that he said what, and he said, why would you give me a CV for? And I said, because I'd like a job, like. And he said, he start breaking his bollocks laughing at me, and I thought that someone had said something, or I was so shocked that he was laughing in my face, but he really was laughing in my face. And I was a young 17-year-old chap, and he was in his 50s, and he was just really laughing. And then I said, what are you laughing at? And he said, I can't have someone like you limping around this pub making a show of the pub. And it really, like, I know we're having a laugh and a joke, and it really hit me. It hit me hard, because for the first time in my life, I kind of realised that, people do look at you differently. Mm-hmm. We like to think, and that everything is great and nobody judges you, and the world is full of roses and stuff. But it was the first time that I kind of had that awakening of like, oh shit. And I can remember just sitting in me house I didn't want to leave the house for weeks after that and stuff, because I was kind of it all hit me at once, so yeah, and look, I'm sure there's a million stories like that, and if anybody does have stories like that, drop them in the comments of this video, because we'd love to hear them, and maybe we could read them out next week. Have you, or Richie, Dara, have you had any experiences like that over the years?
Do you want to take it first?
I'll take it first. So because I had, like, my accident happened when I was 15. I hadn't been out looking for work or anything like that. And the first kind of job that I had was with I was doing plumbing, so I was an apprentice plumber, and went ages working with this chap, and he left the job then. And I started working with another plumber in the job. And he turned around. Now, my eye wasn't as lazy then, but I had explained to him that there was blurred vision, and that like I just why I was being extra cautious, because he was like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And I said, well, I have to take me time here, because if I step in the wrong place, I'm falling over something. Maybe like the EHS or the health and safety board should have been out there, because there was no kind of barriers, you know. But I could have fell over, and I was just explaining to him that I need to take me time here, and he was like, everything from then on was like, are you sure you're able to use that? Are you sure you're going to be okay? Like, can you? Is that like some questions like, are you sure that hole's going to be straight? Like, and it felt like it was like sly digs, you know, sly digs at my eye.
And was it, or were they just being,
I think,
extra safe?
No, I think it was like kind of sly digs with which way his mentality was about it. Like, it wasn't the concern.
Yeah,
it was more of a, are you sure that's going to be like straight? Are you sure you're going to be able to do that? Like, is that going to be on like, is that too much on the blind side?
I'd say it made you feel so shit. Did it?
It does, and like like, I've tough skin. I've grown up with tough skin, and even before the accident, the areas in Dublin that I grew up, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah,
you know. So I was much able to give it, as well as I was able to take it. But these type of comments, they're a deep hurt. They're not just like oh, you idiot, or you fool, or anything like that. They're trying to hurt.
There's actual venom behind it.
Yes, exactly. And like these are the type of comments and behaviours and behaviourisms that deter people with disabilities from gaining jobs, or having the courage to go for a job.
Yeah.
And that's with yourself as well, Jamie, telling that, like, telling your story.
And at the time when you're 16 or 17, like, I think you were fairly young when that was happening to you as well, it's like, you can't really tell your mates about it, because, you know, they're going to take the piss out of you. You don't want to be telling your mum, because you don't want to be disappointing, or you know, so it's a very lonely place when that shit happens. And when like I'm 31 now, I'm comfortable, I'm happy with myself, and so are you. So you know, but at the time it's crushing. So if anybody is listening to this podcast, like, and you are young and you're feeling like that, where you're kind of going through an awakening of kind of trying to accept yourself and your situation, like, trust me when I say this, that it does get better. It really fucking does. And you do come to a place of acceptance eventually. Will you have struggles? Of course. Do I still have struggles accepting it? Yeah. Sometimes, like, I wake up in the morning, I look down and I'm like, oh fuck, this is so weird. Like, it's like that sort of instinct kicks in, like, I should have two legs. This, like, it's like, because I forget, you know. Yeah. So obviously you're gonna still have those struggles, but it gets a hell of a lot easier as you get older. Dara, you were saying you have a story, do you?
Trying to think that, not a struggle exactly, but just even one of the biggest reasons I was shocked when I got the job was because it was just sly kind of things that people wouldn't give me the job for once they found out you're blind. And it's in media, because media is tough to get into anyway.
Yeah,
like that's a fact. Like, that's not a. Sorry, my dog got to tangle himself into wires.
Yeah. Hansel, everybody, our first dog guest on the podcast as well. Welcome, Hansel.
Never work with dogs. But yeah, so it's hard to get into media in general, because it's a tough industry, and that's fair enough for anyone. So that's grand. But when from my experience, when you're blind, editing is the big thing, because there's a lot of editing involved in media. And as you know yourselves, even from editing the podcast and other stuff, it's very visual. And it's, even in interviews, I've been told straight away, I walked in, it's like, oh, but we're looking for someone who can edit straight away, like immediately. I'm like, but can't we look around ways of doing it? Oh no, that would take too much time. And I was like, why am I here? Like, there are some interviews, and that's what I mean, like, why? That's the question then, like, do I mention, like, being disabled beforehand or afterwards? Because in sometimes when I have mentioned it, it's like you're there in the interview because they know they can't refuse you prior to the interview because that looks dodgy, but they'll come up with some reason during the interview, or like even in radio. I'm so sorry.
Lovely Hanson. What a lovely dog, though.
Hanson, come here.
Just watch the stand here. Yeah. Go on, Hanson.
Sit.
Oh, you listen to him.
The dog whisperer, Richie. How long do you have Hanson?
Sorry. So I've Hanson since 2017. So 5. I should really know this off by heart. Yeah, just under 5 years now. Is that right? No, 6 years.
6 years.
Thank you. me no good math. But
And what does 6 years? What does Hanson do for you? Because I know guide dogs are a big deal.
You were going to say blind dogs.
I was.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
See, the thing is, blind dogs can't see.
Yeah, so they need their own guide dog, like a guide cat. Guide cats go where they want, when they want. But yeah, so I think it sounds dramatic, but I suppose Hanson's biggest job is keeping me alive and giving me independence to go out and about and just to make sure I stay safe. Like, people see guide dogs like, oh, look at that blind person's out walking, but they'll stop you from walking out on the road. They'll stop you at pedestrian crossings. They'll make sure that you don't get hit by something or that you avoid obstacles. Like, it's not just you're out for a leisurely stroll. You are out living your life.
Yes.
And do you have any pet peeves about people stopping you or rubbing the dog or stuff like this? Because I can't help myself here, and Hanson's over licking my hand.
Hanson isn't really helping the situation. He's just like, I don't care if you rub me. Yeah, so like in fairness, Hanson, when he's not working, he's he's just this, like, he's really relaxed, he's a bit bold, but when he's working, he's one of the, like, I've never seen a guide dog like him. He is very serious. He's like, I'm working, don't distract me. I'm like, he's very serious.
Yeah.
So he takes his job serious.
He does.
He has one up on me.
Yeah, he takes his job very seriously, but the problem is other people don't take his job very seriously. And it's the fact that when you're out and about, you'll come up to people, or not people come up to you as you're walking, and you'll
He's so
you can hear on the mic. Put your hand in your pocket, will you? Jesus Christ!
No,
all I can hear is.
That's the worst thing. It's like, is Hanson even on screen? It's just like, what's that slobbering noise? What is he doing over there?
Jamie's stomach's making weird noise today on the podcast.
Richie, where are your hands?
Richie looked like he was enjoying that a little bit too much as well.
I'm just saying, if I put my hands in my pockets, then he's gonna start rummaging around for them.
This podcast is taking a strange turn. The one leg, one eye podcast uncut.
On Virgin Media right now.
Parental
advisory.
Sorry, can't even.
Just Richie over there getting his balls.
I know. Come on.
You can see it in the eye.
I'm joking, by the way. Sorry. Hanson would never do that, everybody, all right?
He's a professional dog.
Yes, he's a working dog. But in all seriousness...
I'm dry mouth after that.
Do you want a sip of water?
I might, yeah.
Where's that water?
It's just at the front of the chair on the right.
There you go, bud. Thanks. So, what else do guide dogs do when you're ready? Take your time. That people may not know about. So he stops you from walking out into the road. Thank God. What else did he do? Sorry, I'm still hyper at that.
Would have known Richie's ball would have gotten such a laugh.
Only you, Richie. That could have happened as well.
I'm just chill over here in the corner. I'm done.
Do you want a cigarette?
Hanson didn't even buy me dinner.
Sorry.
Such a dog.
Do they train them that? Is it in the
You caused a ruckus.
Oh, Hanson, we love you. You've gave us the most entertaining moment so far on on all of our podcasts.
Especially me.
I don't think this could have happened last week with Artem.
Yeah, I think it'd be slightly different if Artem Lobov start licking Richie's balls on the podcast. Now, it would be great for ratings and views. Artem, what are you doing? The audio.
There's
Artem.
a camera.
Get your tongue out there, Artem.
Down, Artem, down.
We shouldn't be saying this. He's a UFC.
He's
fucking
gonna box the head off us.
so
Love you.
So how can I ask this question now? So what else do guide dogs do other than the street stuff as well? Like what? Because I'm actually mad interested in what they do. What else does he do for you that people might not know about? Sorry,
Jamie is devastated over there that Hanson didn't lick his hand.
What's wrong with mine?
Oh God!
No, sorry.
Let's steer this ship back to port. Dara, go ahead whenever you're ready.
So it happens when you get two blind people.
Yeah.
So I suppose Hanson's primary job is, as I said, keep me safe, out and about, alive. But he's how do I explain this? There aren't many other like things he do around the house, but what he does do, and even my guide dog before Hanson, Patsy, is that if you get lost, if you take the wrong turn or whatever with your guide dog, you're never alone. Does that make sense? So if you get lost, you're never alone. There's always someone there with you. You're on an adventure. Even if you've absolutely no idea where you are, but it's an adventure. You can stop, you can just relax together. There is calmness there. There is company. Company is actually that's how I would describe it. It's just never alone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
We love each other, don't we? Yeah. But yeah, it's just there's a bond, there's support with each other. You know,
And comfort.
I depend. Yeah, exactly. And like we depend on each other. It is a symbiotic relationship. It's like it is. You and your guide. Like there is a bond. Like it's a bond that you can't beat. It is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I really hope I'm looking at you.
No, you are. Yeah. You are. I swear you are. No, I'm actually over there, the other side of the room.
I'm actually alone.
Here, out of curiosity, what do you think me and Richie look like?
Oh God.
Like, so,
That was actually,
what do you
funny.
imagine me as in your head, and then I'll tell you what I actually look like. All right?
Oh God, this is going to lead to another funny story.
Okay.
But I genuinely have no idea.
Do you get any images in your head, or like, because I remember I used to listen to Dublin radio. I used to listen to Adrian Kennedy, and
yeah.
I used to love it. I used to listen every night when I was a kid, and it's probably one of the reasons why I got into this media stuff was because of that show, the Adrian Kennedy phone show. So shout out to them lads. But I used to listen for years, and I never knew what I looked like, and I thought he was a big fat. I thought he was a huge fella.
Yeah.
Right. Not that there's anything wrong with being fat. I am myself at this, you know. But I thought he was a very big fella. I thought he had like black hair for some reason. I had a vision of him with a mustache, and then a picture came out, and he doesn't look like this now. But he was actually really skinny and had like blonde hair, nearly, you know, very fair hair and a skinny face. So I was listening for years, but I had a different image of him in my head for all them years, which is kind of why I was kind of thinking, do you get them images at all, or is it, do you even bother even trying to imagine anymore?
That's kind of why I don't like saying it, because that happens. Like they're nothing like what you imagine. So.
Yeah, but that's what's fun about it in a way, isn't it? Like
it's like dating in the 80s without photos, you know. They didn't know who they were talking to, and then when you meet up, it's like a big catfish. It's like instead of
An
meeting
actual catfish.
instead of meeting Sandra, who's 28, you're meeting Derek, who's 34. And has
The
a
gender
beard.
was different. The age wasn't much of a difference there. They were just 28, 34.
It was like 4 years. Wasn't that dramatic at
I
all,
just put
was it?
some randomness into it, okay? But,
Come on. Do you get any images of us there? Don't hold back if you do.
Oh,
It's
God.
okay. There'll be no judgments. Or would you, if I don't know.
Well, I currently do know that. Well, maybe it's not right now, but you were wearing a patch a while ago.
I am wearing the patch. Yeah.
Because when I was being dropped off, I'm wearing a navy jumper, and sure, that wasn't the first thing that my friend saw. Was the patch that she saw, and it was like, why did you just say he was going to be the man with the patch?
We have to.
Actually,
Like,
yeah.
it was just like
We have to iterate this for the audience, okay? I didn't just say to him, I'm wearing a navy jumper.
Yeah.
I said to him, I'm wearing a navy jumper. Not that you'll be seeing me in it,
Yeah.
but I'll be screaming, I'm wearing a navy jumper. But it's one of those things to break the ice, make people laugh,
Yeah.
because I know nerves could be, especially myself, if I always like to empathise with people.
Twist the mic up towards you, buddy.
And
Oh,
basically, no, he's talking to me again.
Sorry.
He's slating me again.
No, I'm sorry.
So
so bossy.
so if I'm meeting someone, I like to empathise with them. Like if they have a disability, like yourself coming, Dara, I was thinking, right, so how nervous would I be if I was in his shoes? How can I make it easier? Those were they're my raw thoughts, just out on mic and to your ears as well. And that's why I like to break the ice. I know I can break the ice with lots of people. I'm very good at it. With telling slight jokes or maybe being silly or stuff like that. It's just to ease the comfort levels, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to do, and I hope I done it
Did.
myself and Jamie, because we were really excited about getting you on, and it was one of the things we were nervous that you're coming all the way up to Dublin, and you're coming to meet us two strangers who you've only heard on the podcast, and now it's time to take off the clothes.
Yeah. Oh,
No, I'm
Jesus.
joking.
That took we were on the main road there for ages, and we just went straight into
Straight into
That
the
did
ditch.
that's a bit of a Hanson turn, actually.
Yeah.
That was
No, but like it's things like that. I like to make people laugh, make them feel at ease, and
No,
like,
you are very good at that. He
Yeah,
is,
no,
he
yeah.
is. He's very good at putting himself in other people's shoes. That's why I like him. That's probably the only thing I like about him, actually.
keep stealing your shoes.
Dara, tell us.
the only thing is now, just to go on that, Dara, is I can only ever get one of them because
He's very tall on one side.
Dara, tell us. I can't take any of this serious.
This is like gone from being a very, very.
Yeah, we started off serious and we've just. I love it though. Dara, tell us. And this may be a weird question, but I like to ask it, and we asked it to Steve-O, I think.
Oh, wow.
Is there and you can feel free to tell me to F off, right? Is there is there anything you enjoy about having no vision?
Oh. Do I enjoy what having? Got a free dog. So that's good. Free dogs are always great. I don't know if I actually really enjoy, but 4.5 hours later.
Take your time. There's no rush.
No, I think just genuinely Joy got Hansen. That's really good. That's actually probably the best. And Patsy before him. Oh no, he's going.
I got a lick as well. Look at this.
And
I
it
got a lick.
continues.
Oh, Camden Hansen. Whoa, Hansen. Go on. Oh, he's just saying hello.
Hanson gets very handsy.
Oh, we love Hansen. He's just saying hello. Hello. Lovely fella, aren't you?
This podcast could just be Hansen just saying hello to people.
Oh. He's so he's looking into my eyes like he knows my whole soul. You know, it's like I feel like he understands who I am. Do you think he knows that you're blind? Like,
I don't think, I don't know if it's a concept in dogs that, because if you think about it, when something happens to a dog, they don't care.
yeah,
So even if you see a dog without a leg,
yeah,
they really don't care.
they don't give a bollocks.
There
do
was
they?
there
They
was
just get
actually
on with it.
there
Yeah.
was a gang of dogs around our estate at home. There was this little three little dogs, and the leader was actually the three-legged fella,
Oh,
and he could like he was the boss, like he was the head, and he could genuinely run faster than the other two. And my mother was like, "Sure, he's less weight."
Jesus.
Like you could see this fella bolting down the road, 3 legs on him.
oh God, yeah. So yeah, apart from the dogs, there's nothing really you enjoy, but like you enjoy about it at all, really, is there?
No, but like not like in a pity me kind of
Yeah,
way. It
yeah.
just is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the obviously because like you can't see, how important is it for you to, like, when with the likes of podcasts and stuff, is there anything you really enjoy about podcasts, like listening to certain things? Like is anything like that pleasing to the ears for you? Because you are missing a sense, so that would obviously, it would make your hearing like adjust to your how would you say, like your things that you like, you know. So is there anything that you
So yeah, like obviously I really do enjoy podcasts and radio and stuff. I think the thing about podcasts is it's quite, how do I say, it's quite an intimate kind of medium, as in like you're there with the person, like you're involved. You're
Sorry,
You can't-
He's tickling me.
He's licking my toes.
I'm wearing shorts and he's licking me knees, so it's tickling.
Oh, he is
It's tickling
obsessed with legs.
Well, then he won't like me that much, will he?
If he sees any bare skin at all, he's there. It's a really annoying trait of
He's
his.
like Richie.
What, licking your leg?
put your shorts back on, Jamie? Will you?
So, Dara, I promise I have my shorts still on, okay?
Sure, I can't see you anyway, friend.
Right, Dara,
we're going to.
what would you be like, Dara, if you got home and you know we released a podcast and someone just goes, "Why did you do a podcast with them two lads in the nip?"
That's the new podcast. Right. Okay, we're
Okay, yeah.
You settle down first, okay? Talk away amongst yourselves. I'll just.
So Richie, I'm just there's a million questions we could ask here. I'm fascinated with how Dara lives his life, and you know there must be so many. Oh, you all right, buddy? So many. No, you were all right. You had so many like obstacles and stuff, and when you first lost vision, like how hard was it to, you know, learn how to get around by yourself independently, and you know, there must have been so many obstacles and challenges, and what was the toughest part about it?
Toughest part was simply I move my mic properly. It was simply acceptance.
Yeah.
Just accepting that it's happened. Because like I said, I could see, and I could see, obviously not greatly, but I could see well enough to do stuff. But it's like my eyes and my brain hadn't kind of caught up with each other, and mentally I was still not ready. And it happened really fast. Like it went in one eye first, and then not long after it went in the other eye. And I think when it went in the first eye, it wasn't as bad because it was a shock, but I didn't think it was going to happen in the other eye. So I even remember going around and telling people, even in school, telling teachers, because things are starting to get hard. They're starting to struggle with work and school and stuff like that. And I remember just one day after class going up to teachers individually, just when the bell rang, and kind of just wait around. The teacher's like, why isn't he leaving? And just telling them, it's like, it's gone, the sight's gone this eye, and it was one of the hardest things. It was easy, as in the words came out, but it was emotionally really difficult. And I don't even really know why I did it to each person individually, but I was like, personally, I had to. It was like, I had to do this. I had to admit it to myself, to them. And I think that it was just like I'm 29 now, and am I 20? Yeah, I'm 29. And I last night when I was 16, and I'm still to this day getting used to it. Like, with a disability, it's you learn to live with it, but every day there's something new, and the acceptance it's not linear. It comes and goes. It's not. As myself, my friends say, like, even if things aren't going well, he's like, "You're right," and I just text back, "Blind day," just those words, "blind day." And he knows exactly, like, there's no questions after it. There's no need to explain. He just knows that it's been a tough day, and it was an unexpected day. Something came up, and something happened that just like, for lack of a better word, just unforeseen. And I just, you just need time to yourself alone to work around it and just accept. God, it's gone very deep.
No, but it is deep, and life is deep, and it's I think when you have a disability, like you have a deeper empathic understanding for other people's disabilities, because we all here have lived a life that the majority of the world will never live, and how so when you're talking like that, sorry, it's I feel it, I can only imagine how fucking hard that is to go through and to continually go through. And although we've only met, I'm fucking proud of you. I really am. And none of this inspiration bullshit. I'm fucking. It's so good to see. It's so good to see you living your life and doing your thing, and getting a fucking fantastic job in Virgin Media, and getting on with it. Besides from those shit days, so fair play. Hold on, I'll fix that. Sorry, I'm getting emotional now as well.
God, this podcast has got all the emotions. God,
it's like a roller coaster for us. This podcast, all the laughs, all the emotions.
Yeah, God, we've gone from laughing to 3 men crying.
Okay, go if you want to put your hand on the mic there while I push it towards you, just so I don't smack you in the head. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
So we're coming up to the hour mark here. Jesus Christ! And we said we
Disabled man down. We
said we'll try and keep it to the hour, and we know you have to get your train and stuff. So, Richie, is there any more questions?
Yeah. So, you were saying that you didn't know when to tell, like, in a job, like if you should tell them you have a disability before they hire you or after. Have you had any like dating scenarios where you weren't sure to let them know? Like, have you had any situations like this, or how do you guide your way around, like, the dating scene?
Oh, the dreaded dating apps. And it's the same. It's basically the same thing. It's like in a job interview. When do you say it? Do you say it?
Yeah, I totally get that. Sorry for cutting across you, but yeah, go ahead.
Like, obviously, it's easy to say, and I'm going to say it, but it's hard to follow. Just say it straight out. There's no reason you should hide it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It is just another thing. It's like some people, tall, short, just all sorts of things. But a disability is just this big, huge red alarm for red flag for people, and then makes you worry: is this going to be one of those people that sees it as a thing, or is it just going to be a thing, as in like they're almost more interested in the disability than it's like, oh, this is just cool, quirky thing. And then as well you get the not so nice messages like, what the fuck are you doing on this, you blind, yeah, so and so.
Really?
Oh, you get all sorts of things sometimes.
I haven't got one of them yet, thank God. I'm sure I will. But
It's going to send you one.
well, so what messages have you received? Jesus.
Sometimes they're just very, or not even that, it's well, if you're on this, you're clearly not blind because you can see what you're doing.
Christ.
Or even on TikTok, not as luckily I haven't, even on, I know it's not dating, but TikTok, not as bad, but it's like, how are you commenting? Like, why are you commenting? Like, are you actually blind? Are you just pretending? Like, you get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And it is like that with dating. Like I said, straight out, always. I'm not saying like it should be the opening line, but it shouldn't be something you tiptoe around. But unfortunately,
I can't do that anyway.
Just stomping around.
All right. Lay it in there, Dara. You might as well.
Yeah. People are like, do they like each other? They're just like they've just enslaved each other since the start.
Lately as well, then like where we are now as a species, as the human species, we've came up with some serious technologies that enable people without vision to be able to maneuver and to use social medias. So for people who wouldn't know, or would be like not intentionally but ignorant to how a blind person would operate on TikTok or through messaging services, can you explain to people how you maneuver about social medias and stuff?
So when it comes to getting around like social media, phones and so on and such, and laptops and all sorts of technology, the big one for anyone who is fully blind would be a screen reader, or who has low vision would be a screen reader. So the screen reader is a software that reads out everything which you're interacting with or just doing on the screen. So like if it's like the mouse, the cursor of the mouse, but just in a way it's like you're following the mouse, but we're following the voice. So you hit the up button, or if you're on a Windows on your laptop or just a general keyboard, when you hit the start button, the Windows key, it'll just say start menu, and then you hit up with your arrows to programs, left, right, and
that's the narrator, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the narrator. Exactly, narrator. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Narrator. And then the same for phones. With like I use an iPhone for plug, just for most things, because the screen reader comes with it, and it's an incredibly good screen reader. So wherever your finger is on the screen, it just reads it out on the, like, if you're on the home screen, like whatever app you put your finger over, it'll say that. You can do different finger gestures for different commands. So it's actually it's you can use a phone almost as quickly and as well as anybody else. The handy thing as well is that if you're using a screen reader, you can do this function called screen curtain. So you can just black off the screen, so that no one can actually see what's on your screen.
Very good.
You're working away, and everyone's like, "Is he just pretending to be on his phone?" Because they can't see what's on the screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's really handy because
there's a huge shout out to anyone. Sorry for cutting across you, Dara. For anyone who thinks if you see a blind person on their phone, don't go over saying, "Excuse me, your phone's locked." Because
so are you.
Yeah. Yes. But that's like, just leave them to it. They probably have the screen curtain on.
Exactly.
Leave them alone. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dara, what's annoying things? Is there any annoying things that people do or say to you? I think we discussed this before on the podcast, or
Like, I think we had asked Steve-O.
okay. Is there any annoying? Like, what really is there anything that pisses you off, or not really pisses you off, but kind of irks you that people do or constantly say to you?
Like I said, when you're out walking with your guide dog, do not. It's like, this is to other people, but do not come up to someone who's working their guide dog and say, "I know I shouldn't, but I can't resist rubbing it." And like, as you're working, like, you'll be walking and they just stop you and have like drawing attention to your dog, or it's like, "Oh, I know I shouldn't do it." And it's like, "But why are you doing it so?" Or when you see someone, if you even ask them, it's always a way, just ask, "Is it okay if I talk to your dog? Is it okay if I rub your dog?" It means so much more. But then, that's where it gets weird. If the person with the guide dog says no, because there could be for a million reasons why not. Because it mightn't look like your dog's working if you're standing up. The dog could still be working. So you might say, "No, I'm sorry, it's working." Do not take that as an offense. Like, it's the genuine truth. The dog is working, and like and the worst thing, like, I've had some strange people come up and they ask me, "Oh, it's okay if I rub your dog?" And like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, it's working." And they switch. It's like
Fair enough then.
fair enough. Oh, they just snap. It's
Really?
the weirdest thing. The nicest person in the world can come up to you and say, "Is it okay if I rub your?" He doesn't like me talking about him. The strange, like, the nice person could come up, and next thing it was like, "I didn't want to rub your dog anyway." Like, you did, and then
Oh my God.
you abuse. Oh, you get some abuse.
But
I live in a lovely part of the world.
the thing that they don't understand is when a guide dog is walking, it's like, if they don't learn how to do a certain thing correctly and like, to the point, it's putting your life in danger.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. The simplest thing can be distracting. And like, you'd have people come up to them and like probably like rubbing them and playing with them, and they're adjusting them. It's like, "Oh, he's not much of a guy dog. He's very easily distracted." Like,
Oh my God.
well, yes, because you're playing with him. Like,
Oh my
he's not
God.
distracted. You're physically like, I wouldn't say assaulting, but you're physically like your hands are on the dog. Like, the dog's not distracted.
It hurts.
You
It hurts my brain.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
But that would be, but I don't know why I started thinking of this. But then you've got parents with children, and everyone's like, "Oh, children must be so annoying." Children are the best. They are brilliant, because I think it's because there's just so much education going on at the moment for guide dogs and working dogs and just disabilities in general. But you see people like, "Oh, that's a guide dog." And they might ask you, "Can you rub them?" Or ask you like the most bizarre questions, and they're brilliant because there's no filter, there's no malice, there's no, they don't care, and it's brilliant. Whereas like, you see parents like, "No, you can't ask them that. Stop. No, leave the man alone." You're like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
Like, have an
So
innocent,
it's the parents.
innocent bluntness.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. I
And
love
it's
it.
the parents then making it more awkward by
More
going, "Oh,
awkward.
don't ask the man
Yeah,
that."
yeah.
And it's like, let the kid ask, you know.
It's like, I often get like from children. It's like, there was one girl I was just like, she was asking me, like, "Oh, can you, like, what was it? It's like, oh, can you not see colours?" And I was like, "Oh no, not anymore." It's like, does that mean like I can't remember what she said exactly. It was like, "Does that mean you don't know what green looks like?" And I was like I could, but I was like, I do know what green looks like, but I was in a rush in a way, but I was like, so I couldn't get into it. I could see, now I can't see, so I just said, "No, I don't." And she got so upset. She's like, "Green's my favorite color," and she was upset, but not in a pity way. She like genuinely felt as if she was like, it's a real thing. Like, it's blind people don't know, and this leads back to earlier on. Blind people just don't know what from birth, blind people don't know what colors are. But she was so genuinely affected by it, and it was amazing. Whereas the parents just always ask the obvious general questions, and kind of almost look like not condescending,
And we can only hope that these encounters that this young girl had can have a butterfly effect on her, and that she'll be, like, as Jamie was saying earlier, people don't kind of you don't realize how bad the world is until you become uncensored to it, if you get me. Like you get awakened to it. So because I stabbed myself in the eye, I can I can empathize.
No, sorry,
and
just the way you word
thanks
it.
for laughing.
No, sorry, it's just the way you word it. Sorry,
But
sorry.
no, you're grand. So I'm used to it by now, Jamie. With you. No, I'm joking. So I can. It's easy for me to empathise with someone who has lost vision, and it's only until these type of things happen to you that it affects you, and it's an ongoing thing. So hopefully, you'd never know, this young girl could grow up and become a teacher or anything like that, where she's teaching maybe some blind kids, or maybe giving up some of her time to do some charity work for children with impaired vision or whatever. You know, you like, it's these type of things that it can't be just, oh, sweep that under the carpet. No, don't talk to him like that. Explain. Yeah. No, hopefully parents would take their kids off and say, well, look, we don't know the situation of the guy, and maybe some people will take these like questions like offensively. So if you want to know anything about that, let's have a chat and a conversation about it, and have it a healthy way, you know. Make it a positive, don't make it a negative. Like, don't be just booting the legs off your kid going, shut up, will you? Like, you know, explain to them what's going on, explain to them, like, show them a few videos, or educate them. The internet is a powerful tool to use doing these things, you know. So yeah, like it all like draws down to education and teaching the young at an early stage.
Big time. And unfortunately, we're running out of time here, because I know he has to get the train at 5, and it's 4:20 here. So really quickly, myself and Richie are doing a Jamie versus Richie challenge. What's it called? The one leg, one eye challenge. Or sorry, one leg, one eye, 1 month challenge. And every month we have a challenge, right? So in 2.5 weeks time, myself and Richie are going to be attempting stand-up comedy for the first time. Is that something you've ever thought of trying?
People have said to me that I should do it. I don't know. I think I'd be absolutely petrified.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Would you like to take part in the one leg, 1 month, one leg, one eye, 1 month challenge as a bonus? Little contestants. Now it is in 2.5 weeks time, but in fairness, I haven't written anything. Richie hasn't written anything, and it's 3 to 5 minutes on stage. If not, maybe you can have a think about it and get back on to us. You don't have to answer right now, but we wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not saying no.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm not saying no.
Okay.
It's a very strong maybe.
Okay, right, sweet.
Do my hair that day.
Yeah, if you can find it.
Lost my sight, lost my hair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Baldness and blindness are the same thing.
Have we got quick 2 minutes of the agony aunt, Richie? Have we got a...
Go.
I'm not too sure if we can find them.
I think we'll leave it for next week, because he does have to go.
We'll do a phone in from Kerry.
So next week we're gonna do. We need your questions, all right? So in the comments, please below, put in if you would like any advice, anything at all in life, right? We'll give you really unprofessional advice back. Is that what we were saying? It is. So it could be, maybe you have a relationship problem, maybe you have it could be you making something up. It's just a bit of crack. So
it could be a question on one of our disabilities, or even a disability in general.
Yeah, it could be completely serious as well then. If you want.
Like, use it whichever way you want. But we need more. We need more in.
For Proper or Pony last week, you need to tell the people whether the story in last week's episode was true.
Last week with Artem, I had explained. I'll crash through this.
You don't need to go through it all. So you can just say whether
I had broke into a factory. Not broke in. The factory was derelict. Took some wrapping crisp papers out. Jumped off a roof. It was proper. It was true.
There you
I
go,
done that when I
everybody.
was younger.
Love
There
it.
you go. It
Love
was proper. I'll do a real quick proper a pony for this week to you, Dara. Okay, so when I was I don't know what age I was. Where I live in North Dublin, instead of snow fights, we used to have muck ball fights. All right, so we used to get big clumps of muck, turn them into a muck ball, like a snowball, but it's muck. And we were getting these muck balls from a skip. Who obviously someone was digging up their garden or whatever, getting the garden leveled or concreted or something. And mid muck ball fight, one of my friends at the time, a girl, threw a muck ball at me and hit me right in the eye. But there was a sharp stone in the muck ball that smacked me in the eye, and I had to go to hospital. And I went around wearing a patch for a month, and I nearly went blind in my eye. Do you think that's proper a pony, Dara?
Oh, God, there's a theme. It's very close to home.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I'm gonna have to push you, Dara.
It's pony.
It's pony, right? Find out next week, and this is Richie's segment. He made it up. If that story was proper or pony, and we'll tell you next week on next week's episode. I'd just like to thank you, Dara. You're absolutely fantastic. Where can people go and check you out?
So you can catch me on Instagram and TikTok at That Blind Guy with a Camera, and on Instagram as at That Blind Fella.
That blind fella.
Yeah.
And we'll have your link in the description. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and showing so much support to the first two episodes.
Yeah.
Continue to do that for us for the third episode.
Definitely.
Share this podcast out. The more views it gets and the more reactions it gets and engagements and comments, it really helps with us doing this going forward. We want to make this a full thing, an episode every Sunday. So you might think that your little comment doesn't help in the comment section. I'm telling you right now, it really, really does.
Definitely does.
Even if you're listening on Spotify, go over to YouTube and leave a comment on it as well, just for the crack if you want to be extra supportive. We've all our social medias linked in the description.
We do.
And we'd love for you to click them and follow them.
And it's so handy because it's Linktree. It's one click and you'll find all of our socials. So just please make sure you click each one of them and support us whichever way you can.
Yes.
And we do appreciate every single like, share, and comment. We
do.
We love them.
And make sure as well, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, follow and hit the notification bell on both. So then when we do have a new episode, your phone will vibrate and say there's a new episode of the One Leg, One Eye podcast. Thanks very much. Another awesome episode. Thanks so much, Dara. You're an absolute gentleman, and I wish you nothing but success in the future. I hope we can get you on again in a couple of months' time to have some more chats, because there's so much more I want to explore with you, and I know Richie does as well. Richie really adores you and stuff like that. And so do I. So fair play. Thanks everybody. Tune in again next week for episode 4 of the One Leg, One Eye podcast. Yeah.
See ya.
I'm Jamie J. Carr.
And I'm Richie F.
And this is the One Leg,
One Eye
podcast.